This is the Dallas Morning News.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.
Hello, and welcome to Eat, Drink, DFW, the podcast from the Dallas Morning News food team. Each week, we take a look at food and drink trends in North Texas, talk about restaurants in Dallas-Fort Worth, learn some new recipes, and sometimes even get tips from you, our listeners. I'm Julie Fisk, podcast producer for the Dallas Morning News, and this week, we've got news about a highly anticipated Mexican restaurant and a suburban cafe you're going to love. We're also going to say the quiet part out loud when it comes to the glut of restaurant chains in Dallas-Fort Worth. That's all coming up right after this.
Central Market is really into food, like fish flown in so fresh it still has jet lag into food. Our sourdough starter has been around since grunge was a thing into food. We're talking more prime cuts than a greatest hits album into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then we're the HQ for you. Whether you're a make every recipe in the cookbook foodie or a my favorite recipe is reheat type who just digs the delectable, no place makes every day more delicious like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
For the latest food and restaurant news in Dallas-Fort Worth, visit dallasnews.com/food. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so email us at eatdrink@dallasnews.com with any thoughts or suggestions. As usual, today I'm joined by our food writers, Sarah Blaskovich, Zacharia Washington, and Imelda Garcia. Imelda, why don't you start us off?
We have to talk about Oloyo. This is one of the most anticipated restaurants in Dallas, and we have a lot to say about it.
We do. The chef owners of Oloyo have been working on this restaurant for years, and their small business in the past was one of those if you know places. They sold tortillas and tamales from an industrial kitchen near I-35 for several years. They also did private dinners, and one time I went to go visit with them and I couldn't find this kitchen. That's sort of how off
small.
the beaten path it was. That's right. Opening their very own restaurant means that co-owner Olivia Lopez can showcase the fine dining Mexican dishes she's been refining for years. And I spent some time with Olivia and her partner Jonathan Percival a few months back, and the biggest impression I was left with was her obsession with quality ingredients. So I love this little story. She told me her grandmother used to send her to the market as a kid, and her grandmother said, "Get there early and get the best, or don't go at all."
Oh.
Try again tomorrow. Right? And it wasn't always about expensive ingredients. It was just about getting the best of what was there. And so this love for Mexican food and preparations, it comes out of Olivia's pores. Like I remember during an interview when many people would be talking about her food, she would pause and quietly say, "Can I speak, please?" And then she would enunciate perfectly what she was going to be doing with that ingredient. She's just extremely intense, and this restaurant will be beautiful and exciting and all these things, but it will also be so specific to Olivia herself.
So where is it, Sarah?
It's on Gaston Avenue in a spot that foodies know. It's the former Cry Wolf restaurant. And a tiny little story about that. One of Olivia's first jobs when she emigrated from Mexico to Dallas was working at Mi Piaci, a long ago Italian restaurant, and she worked for Chef Ross Demers. Well, Chef Ross Demers, years later, opened Cry Wolf on Gaston Avenue. And then that restaurant closed in 2023, and her restaurant is going in where his was. So there's just this sort of full circle chef feeling in the space. And I think there's some warm fuzzies about that too.
I know that they had these pop-up appearances, and they were very busy every time they show up. Do we need reservations for this place, Sarah?
Yes, something I failed to mention is Oloyo is only 23 seats. Ooh. And reservations are required. So not just suggested or recommended. You can't go unless you've planned in advance. And if you want to look them up, they are hard to get right now. So make plans way in advance so that you can get to Oloyo, because it's going to be really tough to get a seat to one of Dallas's most anticipated restaurants right now.
Ooh, good to know. Well, Imelda, you went to a new cafe in Irving. Can you tell us about that one?
I love this place. Let me tell you why. This is a women-owned, family-owned cafe. It's called Alma Cafe, and it's in South Irving. And you know, when you talk about Irving and developments and everything, you think about Las Colinas, the northern part. This place is in the south part of Irving, where there is no independent coffees. So when you go there, there is like this house, and it was a historic house built like in the 30s. They renovated this place, and now it is a cafe. They buy their coffee in a local place, and they have like this Mexican soul, Their chef, their pastry chef is Elvia Ojeda, and she's like the core of the place, She bakes everything in-house, order collages, the scones and everything. And it's like a fusion of American bread with Mexican bread. So it's really interesting. And they have a great story how their whole vacations, for example, became like a coffee expeditions, looking for the best coffees until they got the real idea of what they wanted to do.
I love a coffee trip with your family.
Imagine.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Imelda, what does it feel like? What does it look like in there?
I love that the space is really aesthetic, you know? It's made for Instagram. So you have like these paintings. It's beautiful. And they have a lot of flowers. They love flowers. It's like a very feminine space. And I love that. You know, you can go and work there, or you have a good chisme with your comadres, you know, and it's a really, really nice place. They aim to be like a neighborhood place, but elevated.
And Sarah, let's talk about this project that you published last week, because people are always talking about how Dallas seems to have a lot of chain restaurants. And sometimes we're the birthplace of a chain restaurant like Chili's or Dickey's Barbecue. But what's the deal here? Why does Dallas get so many chains?
It's a great question. And the reason the story was written is because my editor asked me, like just sort of in passing, like, well, what's the deal here? It's a great question. And here's what I found. For years, an invisible highway has run from big cities like LA, New York, Miami, maybe Las Vegas, and those roads lead straight to Dallas. So out-of-town restaurants flooded Dallas before the pandemic. They flooded Dallas after the pandemic. This has been happening for decades. We already were a happy place for chain restaurants because many are from here. So we are already the birthplace of La Madeleine, On the Border, Twin Peaks. Did you know that was from here?
I didn't.
Right? Black Eyed Pea. And then there are these mega chains like Portillo's Hot Dogs, Dave's Hot Chicken, Salt and Straw Ice Cream. They choose Dallas first when they make a big move into Texas. And so why, right? According to the president and CEO of the Texas Restaurant Association, Dallas is the single most desirable big city in Texas for a growing restaurant brand. So we don't even really compete that much with the other big cities. Dallas is it if you're looking to grow into Texas at large.
Why is that? That's surprising.
A big part of this is the suburbs. Many of these restaurants don't want to be one and done if they come to Dallas. They want to open 1, then 2, then 5, then depending on how large they are, 25. Right? And so they need to know that restaurants will work in many locations. And here's the sort of magic. In Dallas, restaurants can expand like rings. And I think of a bullseye. So if you put the middle of the target in the middle of Dallas, and the rings on the outside take you to the suburbs outside of Dallas, and even to other big cities like Fort Worth, Garland, Denton, even maybe so far south as Waco, if you're making a big old bullseye, what they're finding is that all of these rings around Dallas work for many restaurant brands. That's important because if you look at Houston, it doesn't work quite the same way, according to the president and CEO of the Texas Restaurant Association, because Houston is much more sprawling.
And we're always looking for a reason to be better than Houston.
Yes.
I know, right? And is like the chain restaurant mecca a good reason? I don't know. You know, we could debate that. But there are other things about DFW that really work. We have 2 public airports, meaning that getting people and restaurant supplies into and out of our area is easy. And then depending on where you're looking, leases can be relatively affordable in Dallas, especially to a restaurateur who's used to paying LA or New York prices.
But Dallas isn't affordable, is it?
It's less affordable than it has been. You know, I think those of us who have lived here for a long time have watched property prices go way up. It feels like you can't get what you used to be able to get here, either within Dallas city limits or even in the suburbs. And at odds with this discussion of affordability is the local folks who will say, well, I'm so glad, you know, that an expanding restaurant company with private equity dollars can afford a lease here in Dallas. These local restaurateurs remember when that neighborhood was affordable for them. And so there's a general concern that rent has gone up in every desirable neighborhood where a restaurant might go, and that those spaces are then available to out-of-towners and too expensive to our local folks. And that's really when we see the tension and the push-pull of whether so many chain restaurants coming here is affecting the like cultural fabric at large.
So it's like we're a great starting point for restaurateurs from out of state, but that's threatening the local restaurateurs.
Exactly. And then you have to look at the big picture though. Do consumers want to spend their money at Portillo's just as much as they might from a Chicago-inspired restaurant from a Dallas person? Maybe, maybe not, you know, and the market sort of corrects itself. So the restaurants that survive and the ones that don't are based a lot on how we spend our money at these places. Do you choose to go to a chain? Do you care that it's a chain? And do you like it anyway? Is the food good enough to be competitive? Or do you choose to spend only local dollars? You know, if you're me, there's a healthy mix of both. And I think we have watched Dallas people support restaurants of many kinds for so many years that it continues to be sort of a happy spot for newcomers.
You can see how it'd be challenging, though, for the mom and pop restaurant, because these other companies come in and they're already going to have a lot of money for advertising for whatever it is they need, where mom and pop might not have that. So then the big shiny is going to be the new place.
That's exactly right. And if you think of a one-off restaurant owned by a local person, and then you think of, let's just talk pizza. If you think of a single pizza joint that a family owns that's really good and they really like, and then you think about Prince Street Pizza, which has, you know, dozens of locations and can go anywhere they like. The consumer sees pizza. And picks this one or picks that one. But those companies aren't the same thing at all. You know, they don't have the same balance sheet. One has way more money than the other, and one has legs in a way the other never wanted. And so that's the real challenge here is we're seeing people, especially on Instagram, feel frustrated by some of these out-of-towners that come in. I did see one smart comment from Drew, the food guy. He's our Michelin man. Remember we interviewed him about eating at every Texas Michelin-starred restaurant within a couple of months. What Drew said was, and I think he's right, if the food's good, whether it's an out-of-town restaurant or a locally owned restaurant, if the food's good, right? Because we're trying to create a great food scene here in Dallas. If the food's not good at either of those, here's where we have a challenge, and there's where restaurants close. So he's like, I'm not anti-out-of-state restaurant, just as he's not anti-local restaurant. He just wants greatness at every level, and I think that's a great North Star.
You know, personally, I think of it like, do I want to support a restaurant whose owner has a daughter that goes to school with my kid, or whose owner lives somewhere that I don't know and will never know their name?
Yeah.
But that said, to be honest, I'm not going out that much. When I think about a lot of these new places, the new Portillo's, I'm not really going anywhere because everything's too expensive right now.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm independently owned or other.
Portillo's, it's not that expensive. I stay in Grand Prairie. We have one, and it's really good and reasonably priced, in my opinion.
Well, and if you eat one Portillo's, like one Italian beef, you don't need to eat for the rest of the day, honestly.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Dallas could be, like we say in Mexico, for Latin American artists, you know, like singers and things like that. We always say, if you make it in Mexico, you can make it everywhere. So now if you make it in Dallas, maybe you will make it everywhere.
Yes.
Well, you can and should find Sarah's story at dallasnews.com/food because it is fascinating. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the restaurants that you wish would come to North Texas.
Central Market is really into food. Like when we say cheese, it's in 12 languages into food. Butchers, bakers, and sushi roll makers into food. We're talking so obsessive about quality you can shop blindfolded into food. Central Market is really into food. If you are too, then let us turn your shopping list into a treasure map. Get inspired, get adventurous, or just get a chef-made dinner when you've got more taste buds than time. No place makes every meal more amazing like Central Market. Really into food. Shop now at centralmarket.com.
Coming up, we're going to hear which restaurant chains you want to see in DFW. But first, a quick reminder that you can always reach out to the Dallas Morning News food team at eatdrink@dallasnews.com. And please leave a 5-star review wherever you can. We also love it when you write a cute review and say nice things about us.
So my editor challenged me the other day. He asked, like sort of just in passing, which chain restaurants weren't in Dallas yet that should make a go of it here.
Ooh.
You know, I thought for a second. I thought a little bit longer. And I'm like, 0. There are not any. We have everything.
I don't know.
You know, I had no answer for him at all.
Yeah.
It was like a stumper for me. And so we turned to Instagram and asked our followers this question. And I mean, we just established that so many chain restaurants come here, and we named so many that are doing well. And I was just like out of ideas. I was very wrong. We got hundreds of comments from people who said, this is what I want. And I learned we don't have it all yet.
I don't believe you. I saw your post and I tried to think of a single place.
I know.
And I couldn't think of anything.
I have one. There's a chain restaurant in California. It's called Coco's. It's like a Denny's kind of place, but they sell a lot of pies. Oh my God. They are so good. I mean, and I love like humble pies here and emporium pies, but those pies from Coco's, every time I go to California, I have to eat there.
Our pie levels in DFW are low. They are definitely low.
Sarah, I saw your list, and as a person who just moved from Austin, I'm just like, oh my gosh, we need these places. Cilantro Barbecue, it's a Korean barbecue spot. So good. Pete Terry's is phenomenal. I really want them to come.
I can't believe you said that. I drive by Pete Terry's and I'm in Austin all the time going to UT. I've never gone to Pete Terry's. Is it good?
Yes. So you have to try it.
You have to go to Pete Terry's, Julie. 2 reasons. Number 1, I also think it is good. Number 2, it was the number 1 request from commenters on this Instagram.
For real.
With
We
good
have to
reason.
Yeah.
You have to go.
Wow.
I have no idea if Pete Terry's, which is Austin born, has any interest in being in Dallas, but I can say that Dallas people have interest in Pete Terry's coming here.
As a person who's from Dallas but was living in Austin all those years, I would love for Pete Terry's to come here. It would be awesome.
I want to add to this discussion Chicago restaurants. Because when Portillo's came here, it was such a big deal for Chicago expats. And I was like secondhand happy for them because they finally got the place that they love so much. Our readers said, in addition to Portillo's, what they want next is Giordano's Pizza and Lou Malnati's Pizza.
Because every Chicago person thinks that Chicago and all their food is the greatest thing ever. If you want to waste a lot of time, challenge a Chicago person about their pizza. Because I am not a big fan of Chicago pizza because I have to go to Chicago a lot. That's where my husband's family is from. And I'm told how much I'm going to love all of the food. And I don't.
Julie, that's a hot take, Julie.
I know. Somebody's going to be waiting outside to like punch me in the face.
Or your family in Thanksgiving is going to be like,
So could it be that you don't like to eat your pizza with a fork?
I don't like tomatoes. And they want to put, I like tomato sauce. And they want to put those great big chunky tomatoes on top of my cheese. And that's offensive.
Yeah. All right. So everybody in the world except Julie is open-minded about Chicago pizza restaurants coming here. And that's fine. I don't know enough about Giordano's or Lou Malnati's. I've eaten at both in Chicago, but I don't know if they can compete here. We have a pretty strong pizza culture here, in my opinion, now. And I don't know that they are expanding here necessarily, but I do know that if we get any more Chicago places, your loud Chicago friends, Julie, are not going to be able to stop talking about it. The only thing I like about that Chicago love is that Texans are like that too.
Yeah.
Everywhere we go, like I was joking with a friend that I was like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And we happened to mention we're from Texas. And she's like, well, of course you did. You can't shut up about it.
I know I can't.
It's like we go somewhere else and it's like the first 3 words out of our mouth are like, oh, I'm from Texas. And the person on the other end of the conversation is like, yeah, I knew it already because of all the things about you. And yet you had to tell me. And then, every time we're on vacation, there happens to be other Texans. I mean, we went on our honeymoon in Italy and the table next to us were Texans.
I love it.
And like we just about put both of those tables together so that we could dine together.
Of course.
And then everyone in the restaurant knew you were from Texas.
100%. And they probably hated that. So I'm hearing you about the Chicago thing and I am that, but from Texas. And so I'm sorry and not sorry all at the same time.
Here are a couple of others that people wanted. Noodles & Co., that's a Colorado-based noodle shop. Phil's Coffee, it's a San Francisco-based coffee shop that has expanded to Los Angeles and San Diego and Chicago. Another one is Dishoom. That's a cafe that is in the UK, and it's known for its Bombay comfort food.
I'm actually eating there in 2 weeks. I'm so excited.
Oh.
Yeah, the one in London.
Wow.
I want to hear everything.
And lastly, there's a place called Cookout. They have burgers and barbecue, and they opened in North Carolina in 1989.
One last place to add. A commenter wants Erewhon, the fancy grocery store. And let me be the first to say that's not a restaurant. But I added it to the list because I just feel like people love to hate to love that place. Mm-hmm. And I don't think I want an Erewhon, but if we had one, you'd better believe I'd write news stories about it and go.
Oh, yeah. I go buy one of the grocery bags, too.
Y'all, this list is so much fun. You can find more at our Instagram account, DMN Food. You're going to be looking for a picture with a bagel. So be sure to comment and even tag your favorite restaurants.
Yeah, do that. I want to know which ones we missed.
And that's all the time we have for today. By the way, if you like learning about new restaurants and you want to receive free weekly emails with links to all of our latest work, go to dallasnews.com/newsletters. The first newsletter is called Restaurant News, and the second one is Eat Drink DFW. And both of them will keep you up to date as you make dinner plans in DFW. Special thanks to Dallas Morning News Assistant Managing Editor Christopher Wynn, who would also love an Erewhon shopping tote, pretty please. For the news, I'm Julie Fisk. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Eat, Drink, DFW from the Dallas Morning News is made possible by Central Market.